Hello everyone, Michelle here from the Creative Cove. Thanks for joining me today. I thought we'd make a little journal today. I've picked up this law book from a garage sale for 10 cents. So I thought we could use up the cover. I think what I'm gonna do is maybe, I was thinking, do I want a journal this big or do I want to slice it in half? Because I do get partial to these little mini size journals. I really like this size, but it is nice to have something big to work on. So let me just slice this off. Where is my X-Acto? I'm gonna bring my little trolley over. It's got all my goodies in it. And I cleaned out my studio and reorganized it. So now I've got to remember where I put everything. But it looks so much nicer. And you know, you walk into a space and you think, oh man, it's so clean and organized that it makes you just want to create things. You know, you just kind of go to town on it. So I could do something like this, where I just keep it this size. Or do I want to make 2 journals out of this? What do I want? I think I'm gonna go with 2 journals. I like the small ones. I don't know why. I just, I'm drawn to them. So what do we got here inch-wise? I've got just over 9 inches, so we're gonna say 4 1/4. No, 4 1/8 is what we'll do. Is that right? 4 1/2 would be 9. So, sorry. We're gonna do 4 3/4 here. That's my math skills. I'm just going to hack this real quick. And then I will try and figure out how to cut it without cutting my table. As you can see, I am no perfectionist. You guys know that about me by now, I'm sure. I didn't even find my mark. I'm a wing it kind of person. Just gonna wing it. I do that with everything in my life. Cooking, knitting, sewing, everything. Kid raising. I just winged it. All right, so now I can see my cut. I wonder if my chopper will go through that. Let's try it. So I picked up this guy up at the thrift shop, and I really like how sharp it is. So let me maybe cut it in half this way first. Let's just chop the ends off here. Sorry, I keep banging the camera. Look at that. Sweet. Nothing like a nice sharp knife. There we go. And then I'm just gonna chop this down that line. Hopefully it will go through. No. So let me just use my knife here. Get through the majority of it. Like, I would normally use an X-Acto, but my thing to protect my table, I had to throw away because it was so old and garbagey. So sorry about the camera. I'm just gonna hack through this. Only professional stuff here at the Creative Cove. That's how we roll here. Just hack stuff. There, haha, success. Okay, put that blade, lock that blade down. All right, we got it. So, not the neatest, but that doesn't matter because we're gonna be covering it all up. Oh, Millie, get out of there, please. All right, I'm just gonna clean up these bits. Mildred, go on. Get out of there, I said. Millie's snooping in my trolley here. Go lie down. Okay. So I'll get these bits out of here. So now I have my cover pieces anyways. Hopefully they're roughly the same size, yes, and we are good. So I'm going to use these bits as well. I think I'll make them just a little bit smaller though, a little bit narrower. I don't like too big a book. Well, maybe we'll do one smaller and one big. Okay, so I'm just clean up the bits and bobs here. So I like to use up old books or magazines, playing cards, whatever, to make my journal covers with. I do find that these are too short now that I think about it. I do find that it's, what's the word? It's kind of easier to work with when stuff is already kind of half done for you. So like this is nice and hard. It's sturdy, and it's an old book that nobody's using, so we'll use it up. I'm gonna use the cover here of this one. It's got a pretty good cardstock to it. I tried videoing some videos recently, and I just want to apologize because for some reason my filming was on 4K, and my what's the word I'm thinking of? I can't think and create at the same time today. My videos wouldn't upload. It was so frustrating. There's just too much data. So I had 3 videos filmed of like hauls that I had done from the thrift shop, and I can't upload them. So I was going kind of bonkers on that one. So I do apologize if you haven't seen me in a while. That's why. I tried for 2 weeks to upload these videos and I got nothing. Let's do a fatter one. So I'm starting from scratch, but of course I went through all my haul stuff and can't use it because I've already filmed it. So yeah, that's the luck I've had lately. So I kind of got frustrated and decided maybe I won't make any videos for a few minutes. Just kind of cool the jets on the videos. So there, so I'm going to use this. So you can see this is significantly thicker than this, but it's okay. We'll make it work. This is, you know, I like to make journals for me. I don't sell my journals really. I do use them up in, say, one of my surprise boxes. I'll add my journals into that. But I like to make journals specifically for me. Really, Millie? So I like to make them how I like to make them. So are they the most durable journals or the most well put together? Probably not. But this is how I like to make them. And it makes me happy. So, oh, she's chewing something else now. Don't you love puppies? Don't you just love puppies? Sorry, this tape I'm using is first aid tape. It's my favorite tape. It's dirt cheap. It's fabric. It's sticky. And it's flexible. I love it. Every time I go to the dollar store, I grab more. It's $1.50. Like, you can't beat that. So I leave about 1/8 of an inch in between. Maybe a little bit more because these are so thick. And you just want to make sure that you leave enough room for the covers to be able to flex like this. And then I just tape it up. So what do you guys make your journals out of? Or maybe you're a beginner and you don't sure what to use. You know, you don't want to go out and buy $1 million worth of supplies. This is a great way to use up old recycled goods. And you can even raid your first aid kit. So there we go. So you can leave it rigid. I like soft spines. I like rolled spines, I guess you call them. It's just my preferred look. I find too that it makes the book a little bit easier to store. I can throw it in my purse. And I also kind of like that it's flexible with the with the sewing in of the inserts, the, what are they called? You know, the grouping of papers. That's my vocabulary skills today. Oh boy, it's gonna be a long video. Signatures, that's the word I'm thinking of. I knew it was in there somewhere. So, I'm gonna make the smaller one while I'm at it. Might as well use her up. Oh, I was so happy to sort the studio. Oh my gosh, it took me 2 days. I have a lot of stuff, and it just accumulates. I have no idea where from. And I had stuff in my stash here that I haven't used ever or for a long time. So I thought it's time to get rid of it. It's time to move on, let's say. I find if I have too many things, like too much material or too many options, I can't make any decisions. And I don't like that. I like to just get her done. I don't like to overthink things. I like to just sit down and make stuff. Mildred, will you just sit, please? I thought it was going to be nap time, which is why I started recording. It's a hit and miss for nap time here. Just when I think she's going to settle down, she finds something to chew. All right. Okay, so now I can decorate, which is my favorite part. I like the brown. I like the white. Let's see, I've done some little sketches here recently on my scraps. I did a video on how to use some scraps here. And I thought maybe we could use something like this. So when I made these journals, I did all the signatures. Of course, I haven't sewed anything in yet. But all these papers had scraps, and I'm trying to eliminate scraps. So before I cleaned up, I just went ahead and glued all the leftover trimmings together and sewed. Some of them are sewed here just to reinforce it. And I made all these little, I don't even know what these are called, little doohickeys to go into journals. But at least there's some ready to go ephemera type deal made out of all the scraps. So I had no scraps left. I was so proud of myself. The small victories. I was just so happy because I thought I just did videos on how to get rid of scraps, and now I've got 1 million scraps left. I don't want them. So I've been doodling away and really having fun with some of these. That'd be kind of cute. This one I think opens. So I want some of that brown to show. And I do love the rough edges of the book. So this might drive some of you crazy, but I actually like it when the book is looking rough and old. I would even sand it sometimes because I do love that look. I like it. I like my books looking like they've been loved for a while now. They're not crisp and brand new. Did I say how proud I was of myself using up my scraps? Like, yeah, and look, they're ready, just boom, there's a cover. Genius. I kind of made it a mid-year resolution to use up my scraps right away when making a journal. Will I stick to it? I've never been good at commitments. I try my best, but I really would like to get in that habit. And I think if you make it a habit, you just repeat it so many times that it becomes second nature, right? And then I guess you have the dilemma of having 1 million scraps left over that are sewn together. Are these still technically scraps? Well, I guess it really is a matter of opinion, right? I did a sketch on the other side here, and then I just taped it down to this scrap. There, a little journal cover. Love it. Okay, let's make some signatures for this guy. So I'm just going to use some pages out of the book. This book. This I got at a thrift shop. I loved it because somebody literally has underlined every single word in this book. I'm not sure how they were studying. Like literally they underlined everything. The whole thing's underlined. But anyways, it's great because I love the red writing in it. I think it's so pretty. Oh, she hears something. She might bark, sorry. I don't know what she's doing. But okay, some of that, and then I have my, hang on one second. She settled for a few seconds. I just pulled out some other papers I have. So this was another part of that haul. $1 for this old, remember these old writing pads in school? So I thought I'd use that. $1's a bit rich, but whatever. Some other papers. Just gonna grab a couple here. That one looks like it's already folded. So when I get journals or old books, I might pre-fold things like this, just because it makes it so much easier to make signatures with. The only dilemma is you kind of got to work with a certain size signatures. So it may work for you, it may not, but I'm always looking for ways to store things easier. And less work later when it comes to building signatures. So these might be a bit skinny for this journal, but that's okay. So I'm just going to fold some of these together, and then I'll have to hack through it with my cutter. So it's fun too to build these, because then you think, I wonder what this book was from, or how long I've had this for. Just some really cool papers that you forget about. Like, that's really cool. I love the writing in that. And that's the plain. And then let's use this guy. This way or this way? Let's go this way. And I just hack them down on my cutter to fit in. I might just chop this actually right now with my scissors. Again, not a perfectionist. I'm not overly concerned about things being perfect. I just like to make stuff. Like that, and maybe one inside here. So there's that one. And then I've got this one that looks like it's been started. One of those in there. Let's put one of these in there. I love pages like this that are half blank, so that I can, you know me, sketch something on. Let's put another one in here. I haven't counted the pages, but it's probably a good idea to count how many you've got in each signature. And I don't like to overfill my journals, because I like to stuff them full of sketches and glue things into them. So I might do one more signature here. I also don't sew very often my signatures in. If you've watched me before, I like to kind of use elastic to tie them in, and that way I can remove pages if I have overstuffed it, or maybe take something out to work on that page. If I feel like I've finished a journal, which is very rare, but if I feel like the journal is actually completed, then I would go ahead and sew them in, but that doesn't happen too often. I don't put any blank pages in. Let's put some blank pages in, so we have places to write. All right. And these papers, they don't take really long time to collect out of these little journals. You can accumulate papers like this pretty quickly buying secondhand books. You just have to want to rip them up. That can be challenging for some people. And then the next thing you know, you've got a nice little collection of assorted papers to play with. Okay, I'm going to put this one. This one actually has quite a bit of blank in there. All right, so that should do. So I'm going to move these full pages out of the way. Put those away. I've got some scraps already. So I'm going to, you can measure all this, of course. Measure away. But again, I am far too lazy for that. So I just put it in. Line it up where my front cover ends, and underneath a little, maybe 1/8 of an inch, and then I draw a line across the first signature. I think I'm going to leave this for now to see, like leave this edge. They might fit. The less cutting, the better. And bear with me, I'm going to use my slicer again. So all I do is I drop all the pages to the bottom. I might open it up actually, because there is quite a significant amount of pages in this one, so my cutter can get through it. And line up that blue line I did as best I can, and chop her down. And then I put my scraps to the side. That one's got some fabric in it, so just chop the fabric. And then I'll take my next signature, drop everything down, find the center, feed it in the cutter. I'll line up the last signature. Again, you can measure all this. There's no right or wrong here. This is just my way of doing it. And chop it down. Hopefully your chopper will go through everything. Might be a bit of fabric in here that it's not liking. Yeah, there's a piece of fabric in there. And the last one, and again, none of my stuff is ever perfect. I like the imperfect look. I don't want to stress. I just want to enjoy myself. I want to have fun making my journals. It's sometimes, you know, like I do a lot of different things. I knit, I paint, I do a lot of acrylic paintings. Those are the kind of things I might be a bit more cautious and work a little bit harder at being neater and tidier. But when it comes to paper and journaling, I really just enjoy having fun with it. I don't want to stress about it being perfect. As you can see, it's just not something I want to worry about. Just gonna trim that down. My cutter seems to be a little bit dull towards the back end. All right, good enough. Okay. Just gonna lock that in, sorry. Okay, so there we go. Signature, signature. I think I put 2 signatures together in here. Signature, signature, signature. Okay, and then anything that is messy, so this little piece here I missed, I'll just trim with my scissors. And there we go. So they fit. This could use a trim on the edge, or you can leave them hanging out. A couple of these are a bit long, so I'll trim a couple of pieces off the side here. Or you can take them, for example, you could take this and just fold it in to make a little pocket. Anything that sticks out too long, fold this one right in half. So lots of options. Play with your papers. There we go. Okay, I like it. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that aside for a second, and I'm gonna grab these here. and sort them from the little tiny bits that I won't keep. Clean this up. Look at me cleaning as I go. Haha! That's a first, right? You've never seen me do that on a video before. All right. So I might use some of these up now. I'll just show you real quick how I like to use them up. And I get my glue stick for that. If it's not dried out, the lid wasn't on properly. And all I do is I throw a little bit of glue because I know I'm going to be sewing these, or majority of them. And I will just go ahead and throw a little bit of glue down, stick it on. And then you can trim these after. You can do whatever you want. You can rip them a little bit smaller. Make some interesting patterns. And then you're using up your scraps, which is great because you can always tuck the, if you're selling your journal, you can always tuck them into the envelope, and they'll be part of the journal for the recipient to decorate. So that's always fun. And that's pretty much all I do with these. And I'll use them all. Like before I call it a day, I make sure that I've put all of these, taking care of all of these scraps in one way or another. So probably leave that like that. Maybe put a little focal point here. And then I can send it through the sewing machine. I can trim it down. I do like to trim it once I've sewn it. I just give it a good trim so it's a nice level piece. And then I have something to put into the journal that corresponds to the pages I've already made. So you get that idea. I'm not gonna do them all right now on camera. Let's have some fun with the, I'm gonna put these right over here. So I do those. I don't wanna leave today without doing those. So let's maybe do something with these signatures. So I'm not gonna bother tying them in. What I like to do is I do these holes, and then I use a elastic thread. So this I got at a thrift shop, and it's like an elastic lace. It's my favorite stuff. And I'll just sew a pattern through and then go through the center of the signature here and anchor it in so that the pages move out. If you've watched my channel, you've seen me do it a million times. So I'm not gonna bother doing that today, but I thought we could maybe work on a signature. So let's maybe decorate something here. So maybe I'll use some stuff that I've already made. So something like this. Let's find a thicker page. So something like this maybe. And maybe what I'll do is I'll tape this. I had a piece of tape handy. Oops. So I'll tape this on to the paper. Just using that fabric tape again. Make a little flip out. So there's that. And then with this, maybe I kind of like that page actually. Something like this. And just decorate it. So very neutral papers, as you can see. That's always been my style, really, is neutral. I just like the simplicity of it and the kind of vintage vibe it offers going with these vintagey looking papers, you know, very neutral colors. And then a sketch. So I did these little sketches on these scraps. I'll try and remember to link the video to that. And it's anything you want to sketch. You know, I like botanical, but maybe you like, I don't know, turtles or something. Go ahead and sketch that. I'm all about sketching. So maybe we'll use another one of these and make it a belly band. fun. Right here. Let's take this page out. And the possibilities just keep going and going. I'm gonna fold this over. Hopefully I'm on camera here. And then I'll use a little bit of tape. I love this tape. It's just so easy to use. And hopefully I can upload this video. That there. And that down there. A little belly band for maybe a sketch. There's all my sketches. I go, losing everything again. Over there. This guy maybe. It's a bit, maybe gotta go something a little thicker. Maybe something like this so that you can open it up and journal here. And this is just off an old photo folder. Something like that. Put that back in there. All right, maybe we'll go straight to a page here and do a sketch. Should we do a sketch? Or we can glue an envelope in. We could do so much. Whatever you've got handy, right? You can just go for it. So maybe I want to do some writing here. So maybe I'll just do something simple. And this is a blue pen. So I'm introducing a little bit of color. And I'm just going to do a little decoration. Something very elegant and simplified. But it's nice to have these kind of little handmade touches in there. So if you're an embroiderer or you like to stamp, you can embellish all of these little journals very simply by adding your own little touch to it. This is my favorite part of the whole process, is adding your own little personal touch. Something that simple. I feel like this needs something. So you can make a pocket. Do a pocket on that one. Maybe put a hole punch. Let's see if my punch will work. And do it this way because I know it won't cut through the sewing. Let's actually chop it down first. So I know that I can. These little scrap bits are so handy. Like they're just ready to go. Love that. Oh, it worked. And of course you can ink. Whatever works for you. Let's see if I can get this. I'm almost out of glue. You know what? Let's use double-sided tape. I've got it handy, so let's use it. And of course you can sew that as well. That's why I like to not glue my signatures in. I mean sew my signatures in. So I can take all of it out and manipulate it further. Of course, the wider tape you use, the smaller the pocket gets. And then just take your time and pull off this. Now, if you've got washi tapes, stamps, you can embellish with all kinds of goodies. Maybe you like mixed media. You can do a bunch of mixed media paper and then chop it all up and have it ready to work like these little scrappy things that I did. Come on. So tedious. I don't have one of those picky tools. I should invest in one of those. There we go. I should invest in one of those for sure. Okay, so let's put that in there like that. I've got a pocket, and you can add, you know, some. Do I have any thing kicking around? A little tag. Maybe sketch on the tag. I don't want to use black. Blue, I mean. Let's use some black pen. What have I got? What have I got here? I got charcoal, but that's a bit messy. What's this guy? Uniball. So maybe just something like we've done already. And I just sketch these out of my head, but you can use a botanical reference of some kind from the library, or maybe you're lucky to score one from the thrift shop. Or you can use a digital print that you might have. Get inspiration from anywhere, really. But I just love to doodle like this. I hope this inspires you to just give it a go. Try it. Think, well, I can't draw. Well, you'd be surprised at what you're capable of doing if you allow yourself not to stress over it and just have fun with it. Just go for it. I mean, what have you got to lose? A tag? So you hate it or whatever, you just toss it away and start again. Trust me, I do it all the time. For every like 3 I show you on camera, I've probably thrown 1 or 2 away. All right. So there's a little signature there. Signature ready to tie in. So I hope this gives you some inspiration on how fun it can be to just create journals out of whatever you have on hand. In this case, an old junky law book. And trust me, this law book, like, nobody's going to be upset that you ripped the cover off and that you're going to rip the pages. Because I tried reading some of this, and I don't know how lawyers do it. Because, wow, what a snooze. It's so boring. So trust me, there are books out there that you can cut up and not feel bad about. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed that today. Hopefully gave you some ideas on scrap using and how to make a quick little simple journal without stressing. The whole idea is don't stress, just have fun. I have a lot of people comment that they stress over things and they can't make decisions. They second guess themselves a lot, and that's natural, you know. Don't stress about stressing. It happens to everyone. But just allow yourself to go for it. Worst case scenario, you don't like it, you recycle it. But I guarantee you, if you don't like it, somebody else is going to love it. That I can assure you of as well. And just have fun. Have fun with some materials. You need scissors, glue, and paper. And this fabulous tape. I would recommend going to the dollar store and getting that tape, because it's so handy. I mean, you saw how fast that went together. And of course, you can stick something on here to embellish the spine. You know, the spine doesn't have to just be tape, but it also is really nice if you put this fabric tape holds a stamp really nicely as well. You can ink a stamp on here and it makes like the prettiest delicate stamp because it won't grab all the details, so it looks even more vintage. I don't have any stamps out right now to show you that, but I'm sure I have in a previous video. And then when you find a sketch or you've made a sketch that you love, add it to the cover. Just showcase your work and how proud you are of it. So I hope that gave you some idea, guys. I am back and hopefully going to be able to upload from now on. Now that I pay attention to how I film. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye.